Good morning, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this morning, suspect in Cherry Tree Lane murders fatally shot by police. A man suspected of being a shooter in Sunday's Cherry Tree Lane massacre was fatally shot by police Wednesday afternoon during an operation carried out in Osborne's store, Clarendon. The dead man has been identified as Steve Smith, otherwise called the Ticker or Fly Brain. Reports are that members of the Jamaica Constabulary Forces Fugitive Apprehension Team and the Clarendon Operational Support Team went to a location in Osborne's store in search of Smith and other men who were suspected of being involved in the Cherry Tree Lane murders. It is further reported that during the operation, there was a confrontation and Smith was shot and injured. He was taken to the Maypen Hospital where he was pronounced dead. The matter has been reported to the Independent Commission of Investigations, who have begun an investigation. Police said Smith was suspected of being involved in numerous contract killings and other illicit activities in Clarendon and other parishes. He was a prime suspect in relation to Sunday's shooting, which left 8 people dead and 9 others injured. Amongst the casualties was a 7-year-old boy, while a baby of 1 year and 8 months was injured. He was wanted by the Maypen police for murder for some time and was a person of interest in several other murder investigations, the police said. Wednesday's operations, according to the authorities, was part of a recently launched joint security operation led by the JCF in collaboration with the Jamaica Defense Force and the major organized crime and anti-corruption agency, with a mission to identify, apprehend, and bring the perpetrators to justice and to restore normalcy to the affected communities. The police are remanding suspects to surrender peacefully when they are being apprehended and not to challenge members of the security forces. They are also encouraging residents with information to come forward, or they can share tips anonymously through Crime Stop at 311, the JDF tip line at 876-837-8888, or Mocha's Anonymous tip line at 888 Mocha Tip. Man dies from electrical shocks from downed power lines in Racecourse, Clarendon. Kirk Mitchell, one of 3 men who reportedly suffered electric shocks from downed power lines in Banks Racecourse, Clarendon on August 3, has died. Mitchell reportedly died at the Kingston Public Hospital on Tuesday. A utility pole reportedly belonging to the Jamaica Public Service Company fell on the motorcyclist who was traveling along the main road. It was further reported that 2 residents who attempted to assist him also received electrical shocks. The news understands that Mitchell, a well-known barber in his community, lost his fingers at the scene. Following the incident, the JPS has faced intense scrutiny, with residents criticizing the company for alleged negligence. Women flee Waterhouse community after mother killed and daughter shot. Women fearing for their lives have begun vacating a Waterhouse St. Andrew community following the murder of 43-year-old Tamika Nika Samuels and the wounding of her daughter on Balmaggie Avenue in the community Tuesday night. Samuels, who resided on nearby Penwood Road, was at an in-law's gate when a gunman approached and opened fire around 8 p.m. One of Samuels' daughters was shot in the leg as she tried to run from the gunman. Reports from the Hunts Bay police are that Samuels and her daughter were sitting at the gate when the lone gunman attacked. The mother was hit by several bullets to her upper body, while her daughter was shot in the leg. According to the police, the assailant escaped in the area, and the lawmen were alerted to the scene. Both women were assisted to the hospital, where Samuels succumbed and her daughter was treated and released. When the news visited the area Wednesday morning, residents were not in the mood to speak with the media and were unwilling to even point out where the shooting took place. "Sir, me no know. Somewhere over there, so. But just can't bother with the killing of everybody too emotional," one resident said before ushering her children into a vehicle and leaving. Police service vehicles were spotted patrolling the streets as other residents watched from afar. Soon after, a woman who lives in the area and appeared upset by the murder and the effect it would have on the community told the news that Samuels did not deserve her fate. About 10 shots were fired. Me think a drive-by, only for hear say the person come up through the yard back because some fence blow down from the hurricane, the resident said. Them directly turn the gun on she and her daughter run off and them shoot her in her foot. Then them go back through the fence. She was a jovial person, everybody love her. Who not like her is who she tell the truth. Because that's how she stay, she talk the truth and she no business. The news understands that Samuels was a vendor at a Coronation Market in downtown Kingston. Concerned residents said the community was on a peaceful path before the murder. Samuels, a mother of 4, was described by others as a nice woman. Everybody gone, just me alone leave here so, said another woman with whom the news spoke as she contemplated her next move. The resident in anger burned the chair that Samuels had been seated in, saying it was too much of a painful reminder of what had occurred. It was stained with blood and every time we look at it we are going to remember, a resident said. Several communities in St. Mary still without power. Member of Parliament for St. Mary Central, Dr. Maurice Guy, has rejected claims by the Jamaica Public Service that power has been restored to customers in all parishes except the sections of St. Elizabeth and a few other areas with accessibility issues. Speaking with the news on Wednesday afternoon, Dr. Guy said several communities in St. Mary are still without power more than 6 weeks after the passage of Hurricane Beryl. He added that the lack of power is affecting the delivery of potable water to the communities.
The Martha's Hall water supply system, as well as the Rock Spring plant, have been without electricity for 6 weeks. Today is 6 weeks and 1 day since Beryl passed through this island, and they have not had any electricity supply to those installations. Now, yesterday JPS came and they closed the switch to provide power to the Martha's Hall, but no sooner had they closed the switch and left it flow open, which suggests that there still needs some work done. They have not done anything to the Rock Spring plant in terms of supplying electricity. In Highgate area, we have a section between Highgate and Dean Pen known as Monkey Town going up. There is no electricity supply. In Big Woods, another section, there is no electricity supply. And we also have areas in the Hampstead Division, Valley Road and Beanie Gully, as well as in Killancolly between Farm Turn going down.
Government drafts a plan to build a maximum security prison. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says that the government has drafted plans for the construction of a maximum security prison. Mr. Holness says renewed attention is being given to the issue, particularly in light of information that the people behind the bars were among the masterminds behind Sunday's brutal mass shooting in Clarendon.
Clearly, there needs to be more modern prison facilities where we can effectively cut off the communication and the contact of prisoners. So the contemplation that we have and that we have started to develop plans is really focused on how we can build a high security facility where these kinds of criminal masterminds can be effectively separated from the society. Building a new prison would certainly draw quite a bit of political attention as to whether or not that is wise use of funds when we need new hospitals, new schools, roads, and all the other issues. So we have to be very careful as a government how we make these kinds of fiscal allocations.
National Security Minister Dr. Harris Chang said a new Corrections Act will be brought to Parliament in the next legislative year to effectively manage penal institutions. Additionally, Dr. Chang sought to assure that the prisoners are closely monitored by the police and the correctional officers.
We in fact monitor the activities of these prisoners, not only by investigating and removing contraband from the prison, but the police monitors carefully. That's why some of the intelligence, where we don't go into details, are able to identify beforehand, intercept, and sometimes save the lives of some of the very criminals who are involved. So the work is done to manage the situation quite effectively, but there will be slippage occasionally.
Guys, thanks for watching. Please join us this afternoon at 2 p.m. for another news update.